today, so I figured I'd work on the exhaust again. For those of you who aren't familiar, haven't seen my other videos, I have the SharkWorks center section, the SharkWorks tips. So basically this section of the exhaust here, the valves are approximately this location. So the center section, what SharkWorks does is replaces this big square box, and install's pretty easy. It took me, I don't know, I'm not super handy, but it took me like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, putting tools away and everything. So the SharkWorks is installed, and of course my big complaint has nothing to do with SharkWorks. I mean, their bypass is great, quality's good, does exactly as advertised. My complaint is that the car, when you press the sport button, the exhaust PSE button, Porsche Sport exhaust button, the valves don't open. I'm not sure how, maybe they open a tiny bit, because it does, you can hear an audible change. I guess at idle they open, and then what happens is as soon as you start driving, they close again. So you have it open at idle, then you leave you start driving, you press the gas pedal, they close, and then depending on throttle input, you'll have them open at somewhere between 3,500 and 4,000 RPMs. So then as soon as you shift again, unless you're up in the higher RPM range, if you're driving around town, you shift again, the valves close, then they open again at 3,500, then they close, and they open, they close, they open. It drives me freaking crazy. So what I'm going to do today, I did this before. I'm going to disconnect the valves again. I did it for 6 minutes of driving. I disconnected, I drove down the street, I came back, I said, that drones is annoying. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to disconnect it, show you how to do that. It takes minutes. Hopefully I can get the camera under here so you can see it. I'm going to show you how to do that, and I'm going to leave it for a week or so, drive around with it, and see if I can handle it, see if the drone is annoying. When I did it before, the drone was just above the point of annoying, so I hurried up and reconnected it. So I'm going to disconnect it, leave it disconnected for a little while, and then report back to you, I guess, on how it sounds. And I really would like to be able to retain that ability to open and close the valves, but I'm not usually driving this car anywhere important, so I guess I'm okay with the valves being open all the time. At this point, there is no solution the aftermarket solution to solve this problem other than disconnecting the valves. The IPE has an exhaust, which I've heard in person. It sounds good. A little whiny for me. I don't know if it's the tinniness of the stainless steel they use or what it is, but their rear section, which actually replaces the whole side mufflers and the whole center section, excluding the valves, it's a Valvetronic system. The problem is it works exactly the same as the factory with the PSE button. So what you can do is you can program it using their little key fob thing, which I just don't want. So you can program it using their key fob and disconnect the PSE button, and you could program it to always open following the factory way, or always closed. The problem with IPE, and I'm not sure why they would publish this unless it was true. If you look at the dyno plot, let's say for here's the start at 2,500 RPMs, and then at 9,000, the plot, or the torque curve, goes like this, and then it drops off like 30 foot-pounds, 40 foot-pounds at like somewhere around 4,000 RPMs. If you go to their site, you can see it. I just don't want to spend $4,000 on a rear section exhaust and come to find that one thing drones like crazy because I'm using it as it wasn't intended and using their always open thing, and then I have the same problem I have with the factory exhaust. And the other thing is I'm really not interested. I'm not all, the car's fast enough, but I'm not all about losing 30 foot-pounds of torque, spending $3,000 or $4,000 to do so. Maybe it's just a blip on their chart, but why would you put it on your website unless that's the result you kept getting? You kept getting that torque dip. So I'm just, maybe someone else is willing to take the jump and buy it, but I'm not. I'm holding on to hope that SharkWorks or GMG or AWE can come out with a switch path. I just want it to work like my Carrera S did, where you push the button and it's open, and you push the button and it's closed. And then when the button's off, it opens at a certain RPM range. So that's how I want it to operate. I think maybe there's a reason why. I'm guessing it has something to do with drone. There's gotta be. I know FabSpeed's working on it. Hopefully AWE will. Everybody has this stupid center section, which I understand why they do it, because it takes 2 seconds to build one and design one. They take it right off the 997 and throw it on the 991 and can make a decent amount of money. And I understand there's only going to be 1,500 cars in the U.S., so it's not a real profitable thing. I'm just holding on to hope that someone comes out with something good. So let's see if I can get the camera under here so you can see how to do this. All right, I think you can see this now. At least I hope you can. I'll try to sneak around the camera here, but here's the valve, and here's the plug, or the vacuum line. So there's a rubber connection that connects the metal vacuum line to the valve. So all we have to do is take this piece, pull it off. It's really pretty simple. You could probably almost pull it off by hand. I'm gonna have to get, let's see. A pair of channel locks. And all you really have to do is kind of squeeze it to get it loose. I don't have a tool for this. I forget what these clamps are called. Get a screwdriver real quick. Keep in mind, people, I'm not the most handy person on the planet. So if I can do this, anybody can do it. There you go. That's it. And now what I'll do, since I'm going to leave it a week, I don't know if you can see that hole. I'm going to just put a screw in there. Let's see if I can find one. Okay, I found a screw. Nice and easy. Got a bucket of screws. It's like a stainless steel self-tapping metal screw or something. It doesn't really matter. Just put something in there so it doesn't. Just put it in by hand. It's not going anywhere. I think I might want to try to do is secure this. I think what I'm going to do is zip tie it to this bracket here. Keep it from bouncing around. Alright. I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but there's a little bracket back here. Just going to zip tie the vacuum line just so it doesn't vibrate around. There we go. Take a total of another 2 seconds to keep this thing from bouncing around. Maybe somebody has a better solution, but that should do it. Alright, that's side one. I wasn't trying to mess with the camera. I'm taking about 3 minutes. Let's do side two. Okay, here's the second side. Screwdriver, channel locks, a couple zip ties. I'm trying to do this so you can see. At least that's my excuse for why it's taking me longer, and it probably should. Remember, I'm a white collar guy with blue collar roots, but never really developed those blue collar skills other than playing with my car. Alright. That's out. Let's do the same thing. Let's zip tie it to this, whatever this brace is. I'm sure some of you smart people know what it's called. Looks like just an exhaust. It's just the side muffler bracket. As you guys might imagine, zip ties are pretty much my favorite thing in the world. Go. It's not going anywhere. Would have been smart if I would have gotten the darn screw out before I started filming, but figures I couldn't find a exact matching screw, but I don't think anybody's gonna see this. Except I'll know it's not the same, but whatever. At least I tell myself that when I'm done making this video. I'm sure I'll jack the car back up, search for a couple hours to find the exact same screws to put them in here. Just kidding. I'm not quite that obsessive. Alright, that's it.
Mm-hmm.